Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, welcome to another exciting episode of the OGGM Adventure! Hey, Adventure! It's Friday, it's about 1:30, it's the 18th day of February 2022. It's 65 degrees and sunny here in Ventura, California, though it's a little on the cold side. Brr. Well, but, spring, which hopefully will become summer soon. And more importantly, baseball season. We have some news from Wizards of the Coast. We've got a couple little teeny bits of news from Wizards of the Coast regarding Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. So we've got minor news, and a rumor. So let's go with the D&D news first. There's a new D&D Starter Set coming sometime this year. Yes, Wizards of the Coast promised us at least 3 products this year, one of which, of course, will probably be another Magic the Gathering conversion. One of them is Call of Netherdeep, and now it looks like the third is a new D&D starter set called Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. It's going to be $50, which seems pretty high for a starter set. I think the other ones, what the other ones were like 40, 50 anyways, right? 25, 30. We don't know much about it. Obviously, with the name, it sounds like it's a continuation of the starter set story that was started in the first starter set with Mines of Pendelhaven, or Pendelven, or whatever it's called. The second starter set had Dragons of Icespear Peak, and this one has Dragons of Stormwreck Island. So I guess dragon pirates on an island or something. We know it looks like it's going to have the same stuff we've seen before, boiled down version of the player's handbook, couple blank character sheets, some dice, the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle adventure, which may or may also be a DM screen. I can't tell by the picture. That looks to be it. We don't know anything else about it, and it was part of a Hasbro's new toys, games, and entertainment trailer that they put out for the upcoming Hasbro Pulse. So, yeah. It wasn't the same thing where they talked about the next Nerf product and the next version of Monopoly and My Little Pony and Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Yes, Power Rangers Lightning Collection. This would be depending upon how you look at it, either the third of the starter sets, the third 3.5 of the starter sets, or 5 starter sets or 7 starter sets, depending upon your point of view. Because we have the original starter set, which had mines in it. We had the second starter set that had Dragons of Icespear Peak in it. We had the third starter set, which is this. But then we also have the Stranger Things starter set. So that could or could not count as a starter set. I'm going to count it as half of a starter set. There's the Rick and Morty set, but that wasn't really a starter set. It was more sort of like its own game using D&D. So I'm going to also count that as a half, which is how we get our 2.5 starter sets. But then there was the that DM's thing they did for Wilderness Adventures and the DM's thing they did for Dungeons Adventures. Now those could also technically qualify as starter sets, but only barely, because I don't think they had player information in there. So I'm not going to count those two. But it still leaves the Stranger Things and the Rick and Morty floating out there as sort of half a starter set each. So let's say 3.5 starter sets as of today. Now, will this new starter set contain the rules post Tasha's, post Mordekainen's, post give us a hint of what we're going to see in 2024? Or will it just be a reprint of the previous 2 starter sets with a new box and a new adventure? Don't know. Didn't say. So your guess is as good as mine. I would hope so, but I guess we won't know until they actually release the information. Again, this was just part of a big ad they put up for what's coming out all of 2022, so this could change. But yeah, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. Ooh, exciting. We also have a rumor in regards to Dungeons & Dragons. Now, we've already seen 2 products coming out of the 3, because the Mordekainen's doesn't count. We've got this. We've got the Critical Role one, and we're probably going to get another Magic set one, which means, of course, that they lied and they're going to probably do more than just 3 this year. Or did they say 4? Which means if they said 4, then they're still technically safe, because they could say this doesn't count. That said, there are rumors that we are going to see Spelljammer this year. Of course, there were rumors we were going to see Spelljammer last year and the year before, but that rumor has started circulating again that this is going to be the next classic setting revisited, all new, updated to 5th edition with all the changes to the D&D multiverse, which makes me think less Spelljammer D&D in space and more akin to Planeswalker / Planescape combination with D&D in space. Like the ships are going to be floating around, but instead of floating around in space, they're floating around through the multiverse, kind of like the Weatherlight. That at least seems to be the general direction, and that would make the most sense, rather than release Spelljammer and Planescape as 2 separate ones. But then 2 separate ones would make them more money, so... Anyways, it's a rumor. There's no confirmation that is a product that Wizards of the Coast has coming out in 2022. There's just a rumor circulating that that's going to be one of the ones we're going to see. Some version of Spelljammer, with I'm sure there's still some people who are slightly excited about. But then again, they rumored that it was going to be last year's Spelljammer and rumored the year before there was going to be Spelljammer. Which, of course, with the direction Wizards is taking D&D in combination with Magic, it's more Weatherlight, plane jumping than what we're used to. And speaking of the Weatherlight and Planeswalkers, we have some Magic the Gathering news on the next 3 Magic the Gathering sets. The most recent Magic the Gathering set just came out. It's called Neon Kamigawa, and it's a cyberpunk-themed Magic the Gathering set in the world of Kamigawa. We've visited Kamigawa twice before in Magic the Gathering sets, but now Magic the Gathering apparently is going into the future instead of rehashing multiple variations of fantasy. We're going to have a cyberpunk. We have been told that there's going to be a core set this year and 2 more expansions at least. One of the expansions is going to be the core set, which will be Dominia-based core set, Dominia-themed, which, if you remember, Dominia was the original world that Magic the Gathering took place on before all this planes jumping stuff started. We're going to have an Urza and Mishra-themed set. Now, unless they're completely rewriting the lore and somehow the brothers are back, I don't know how this is going to work because they're both dead. Unless it's, a continuation of the pre-existing storyline, and like they did before with, hey, remember when we did a set and we never did a sequel to that set? Well, here's that sequel to that set. It's just 10 years later because we were, forgot about it. So this could be an unseen chapter in the Antiquities war, Artifactor war between Urza and Mishra. I always liked Urza and Mishra. They, when Magic started, there was a story, Urza, Mishra, the Ornithopters, the Artifact War, the Ice Age. There was a story, which, sort of ended after, I guess, the Weatherlight stuff. But at the end of the Weatherlight series, they were both dead. So, yeah. And then we have a rumor that one of the other sets is going to be an Unset, a comedy-themed set. Now, if you remember the first Unset, Unglued, it was hilarious. The second Unset, not as much. It felt more like just another another Magic set with some quirky rules and brought us the infinite squirrels. And now there's supposedly going to be a new one, which is going to be spaced around a space carnival, what we've heard. So Witchlight in space, Weatherlight in space, I don't know. Take of it what you will. If you're a Magic person, you might be excited about seeing Urza and Mishra come back. I know I am. Other than that, it's going to be more of the same. More cards. Same card, same mechanic, new for the new name for the same mechanic you've seen 1,000 times. But no, we won't bring back banding. Bring back banding, Wizards of the Coast. Bring back banding. I know they won't ever bring back banding because nobody ever understood banding. But they will, as they've always done, just bring back a mechanic you've seen 1,000 times before and just change the name. I haven't played Magic the Gathering in years, so don't ask me what's going on in the world of Magic the Gathering. I just happened to find some Magic the Gathering news, and I thought it would share it with you. But of course, if you're a role-playing person like me, you're more interested in the fact that there's another starter set coming out for D&D. So this will be three times they felt the need to do stuff they did before and give you something that's not quite the player's handbook and not quite the DM's guide, so you still technically need to buy those at some point in time, but here's something that has a box and some dice and a book and an adventure, and the adventure should be good because Mines is still considered one of the best 5e adventures, and Dragons of Icebreaker Peak is supposed to be pretty good, and they both came with decent maps, and yeah, whatever. Make of that what you will. We do have some news. There you go. That's it. Friday news. We'll be back with either an editorial or some DM tips, or not at all. If you appreciate this content, you know what to do. Please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs by August 4th. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting spring, summer. We got some surprises planned. So hold on to your hats. And until next time, get off of my Planescape Spelljammer, plane japper, spell swimmer. Splurger, goddamn kids with your goddamn boom cannon and your goddamn dog ruining all my plans. I want to